Welcome everyone to the University of South Carolina's Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina. Today we are here working through it Wednesday with June and Jan. They are here to discuss the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program with us. And we are so thankful to have them. June comes to us, she's the training coordinator for Safe and Humane Schools at Clemson University, the national training headquarters for the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program. She has more than 25 years of experience in education as a teacher and an administrator. She worked as project director for Safe Schools and Healthy Students Project in Virginia, which is focused on community partnerships and prevention of risky behaviors of youth. She holds a postgraduate professional license from South Carolina Department of Education. She completed a postgraduate certification in positive behavior interventions and supports through the University of South Florida, and as a nationally certified youth mental health first aid instructor. We are so lucky to have her. She's presented at national and international levels on a variety of topics that focus on school and classroom climate. June is married and lives in the upstate of South Carolina. Welcome, June. We are so glad to have you. We also have Jan with us as well. And Jan is the Director of Safe and Humane Schools within the Institute of Family and Neighborhood Life at Clemson University, where she oversees the dissemination of the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program and related initiatives. Prior to joining the Institute, Jan was the Director of Pinellas County Schools Special Project Office, where she had responsibility for financial management for grants as well as grant procurement. She's also served as a supervisor of Safe and Drug-Free Schools program, where she directed the district's national award-winning character education program and provided oversight of the district's policies against bullying and harassment and implementation of the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program. We are so lucky to have her. Her research is focused on bullying prevention and school connectedness. She's authored several publications and curriculum related to bullying prevention. She was named the 2007 Florida Dare Educator of the Year and was inducted into the 2008 Who's Who Prevention Leaders in Florida. We are so lucky to have Jan and June here to discuss with us the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program, and I'll turn it over to them now. Thank you so much for both being here.
Thank you, and welcome to Working Through It Wednesday and an overview of the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program, which will be referred to throughout the presentation as the OBPP. During this session, we will share information about bullying, provide a brief overview of the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program, and talk about how to implement the program. But first, it's important to begin with a common understanding of bullying. Dan Olweus defined bullying as when someone repeatedly and on purpose says or does mean or hurtful things to another person who has a hard time defending himself or herself. Many studies agree that bullying adversely affects everyone: the student who bullies, the student being bullied, and the bystanders, and the entire school community. It can be a very complex situation. Therefore, bullying prevention and intervention needs a comprehensive approach and solution. Bullying is a form of victimization or peer abuse and shares some characteristics, repetition, power imbalance, with other forms of victimization, such as domestic violence and child maltreatment. Bullying isn't a form of conflict. Conflict implies two parties who are on more or less the same or equal footing. Responding to bullying as if it were conflict can be damaging, as it may send inappropriate messages to students involved or re-victimize the student who was bullied.
Hi, everyone. Let's continue. Bullying is characterized, as you can see, by three key components. It's a form of aggression. It's often repeated, as Jan said, though often we as adults don't see everything that occurs. So although it is negative behavior and all of that should be addressed immediately, sometimes we see those patterns and sometimes we don't see them until they're really established or we see them. Unlike other forms of aggression, there is an imbalance of power or strength between that child who is bullying and the one who is being bullied. That imbalance can be physical, but often it's emotional or verbal, and again, can be quite subtle. A child who's being bullied is likely to have a hard time defending him or herself, and that could be physically, verbally, or emotionally. Adults are most familiar with direct forms of bullying, and really we're most apt to respond to direct forms of bullying. Some examples of that are things like hitting and name calling, threats, mean gestures. Most school discipline policies focus really well on direct forms of bullying, but it can also be more subtle or indirect in nature. Some examples of indirect forms of bullying are things like gossip or pressuring others to bully or exclusion. Cyberbullying is also a particularly challenging form of indirect bullying for schools and for community organizations to investigate and to address. It's defined as willful and repeated harm inflicted in the same ways, but when using electronic devices. So there's many reasons why it's critical for us to address school bullying. One of those things, first of all, of course, is to consider school safety. When bullying is present, it creates a climate of fear and disrespect. It may interfere with learning with students and make them feel less and make them feel apprehensive and kind of less confident in what they're trying to do. Some students may even dislike going to school because of the threat of being picked on or being excluded. And also, if bullying is present, when adults are around, students may feel like the adults just really don't care about what's going on, or the adults lack the ability to protect and address the inappropriate behavior. There's other reasons why it's important to address bullying. The community benefits when students like to go to school and have a variety of settings where they feel like that they belong and where they feel like that bullying is addressed. We also know that bullying prevention programs can result in a decrease in dropout rates. It increases in the number of students who stay in school and become productive members of society, and decreases involvement in the justice system. All of these things, of course, help to make our community a safer and more productive place. It also is just a wise investment. It can save us money by keeping an at-risk youth out of the justice system. Keeping schools out of potential liability is another way to look at risk management. We know that the number of civil suits brought by students and families against schools has grown. And often that issue is that school personnel are failing to provide a safe learning environment, or they're showing some level of indifference to the bullying that's happening. And then it's also the law. All 50 states have laws addressing bullying. The federal civil rights laws also requires us to address bullying and any type of harassment upon a protected class. So let's look at the prevalence of bullying in schools, because that's important too.
Bullying researchers frequently classify children and youth into one of four groups: those who are bullied by others, those who bully others, those who are bullied and also bully others, and those not directly involved in bullying. Using the anonymous Olweus bullying questionnaire, 245,000 students were asked if they had been bullied or bullied others 2 to 3 times a month or more in the previous couple of months. The survey was administered before the Olweus program was implemented. 17% of students in grades 3 through 12 reported they were directly involved in bullying, either as one who bullies, one who is bullied, or both. This is similar to results from other national surveys. So this means that almost 1 in 5 children were involved in bullying. An effective way for schools to decrease problems associated with bullying behavior is to implement an evidence-based program to develop a positive climate that reduces the likelihood of all types of bullying. As the most researched and best known bullying prevention initiative available today, the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program is such a program. It was first developed and evaluated in Norway, and it's been evaluated more than any other bullying prevention program since. Some key findings in replicated studies are that up to 70% reductions in students' reports of being bullied and bullying others, and improvements in classroom social climate. Students report of improved order, more positive social relationships, attitudes towards schoolwork, and school in general. In 2018, the Scandinavian Journal of Psychology published a study that showed schools that continued to implement the OBPP experienced significantly less bullying 2 to 8 years after launching the program. The findings also support our general view that the program should not be seen as a time-limited program, but rather as a set of principles, procedures, and mechanisms designed to create a safe and humane school where bullying problems are systemically addressed, handled, and prevented. The largest study of bullying prevention efforts in the US schools revealed significant sustained positive impacts from the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program. The study involved 70,000 students from 210 schools. The research documented clear reductions in students' reports of being bullied and bullying others. Overall, the results were stronger the longer the program was in place. Positive program effects were also found for students' attitudes about bullying and their reports of others' actions to address bullying. Because of the positive research results, the Olweus program is included on several evidence-based registries. Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development is a research program of the University of Colorado, Boulder. National Dropout Prevention Center notes that the program demonstrates effectiveness in reducing dropout and/or increasing graduation rates and/or having significant impact on dropout-related risk factors. The OJJDP Crime Solutions notes the OBPP has statistically significant intervention effects on teachers' ratings of students' physical, verbal, and relational aggression and victimization. And finally, the Early Intervention Foundation notes the program supports children's mental health and well-being and prevents crime, violence, and antisocial behavior. In 2016, the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine released a report titled Preventing Bullying Through Science, Policy, and Practice. The report emphasized that the most likely effective bullying prevention programs are whole school, multi-component programs that combine elements of universal and targeted strategies. They also noted that the Olweus program is the most extensively studied bullying prevention program of this type. Meta-analyses are widely recognized as the most comprehensive and rigorous research on bullying prevention programs. Researchers at Cambridge University published 2 articles in 2019 detailing their latest meta-analyses of bullying prevention programs around the world. They found the OBP was the most effective intervention in relation to reducing bullying perpetration and was among the top 3 programs for reducing bullying victimization.
The Olweus program is a universal school-wide effort that involves all adults and students that are in that school community, not just teachers and administrators, counselors, but also staff, cafeteria staff, custodial staff, bus drivers, parents, and community members. So it really involves all the adults that are involved and working with young people. The program focuses on the school as a system, so it becomes a systemic change. It is a framework, so there are standards about individual behavior. It does serve the K-12 population. It focuses on preventing bullying, but also how to intervene effectively in bullying problems that may arise. And it also focuses on the changing of school climate and social norms so that bullying is actually noticed and addressed and no children are marginalized or excluded. It's also critical to understand what the Olweus program is not. It's not a curriculum, although there are many user-friendly classroom support materials. It's not a short-term fix and shouldn't be viewed as like a one-year project or an assembly program, but it is a systems change which will take some time, commitment, and ongoing effort. It's not conflict resolution or peer mediation, even though there are places for those programs, because bullying is not a form of bullying is a form of victimization, excuse me, not conflict. It does not encourage mediation between students who bully and those who are bullied because of that power imbalance that we talked about before and that potential for re-victimization. The Olweus program is also not a suicide prevention program. Bullying is related to depression and suicide ideation, but suicide is very complicated, and there are usually many issues that put students at risk for suicide. The goals of the program are to reduce and prevent bullying problems and to improve peer relations. These goals are met by restructuring the school environment so that both opportunities and rewards for bullying behaviors are reduced. Research also shows that bullying prevention needs to happen on multiple levels to be effective. And the 4 areas that the Olweus program focuses on are school-wide, classroom, individual, and the community. And as you can see, families are very important to the success of the Olweus program. And so therefore they're involved at all 4 levels.
The school-wide component includes the establishment of a Bullying Prevention Coordinating Committee, often called a BPCC, which is a coordinating team of administrators, teachers, non-teaching staff, and possibly even parents. This committee addresses issues related to fidelity and implementation of the program. School-level components also include training for all school staff and ongoing consultation with members of the Bullying Prevention Coordinating Committee. It includes adoption of clear rules and policies about bullying and the yearly administration of the Olweus Bullying Questionnaire. There are 3 focus areas in the classroom level component: defining and enforcing rules against bullying, holding class meetings focused on bullying prevention, peer relations, and any pro-social behaviors, and finally, parent involvement through classroom or grade level meetings. The Olweus program also provides guidance about integrating bullying prevention themes across the curriculum. There are several focus areas in the individual level component that come into play when dealing with individual bullying incidents. The Olweus program encourages staff to intervene when bullying is witnessed, suspected, or reported. And it provides training so all staff are well prepared to intervene, to follow up, and to communicate with students and families. Interventions are designed to ensure the cessation of the bullying behavior, to provide support to students who are bullied, and to educate students about behavioral expectations. The community level component includes involving a community member on the school bullying prevention coordinating team, developing ways that community members can support the program, and collaborating to spread the bullying prevention message and strategies to other community settings.
Another key aspect of the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program is successful implementation and fidelity is training. A certified Olweus trainer provides training for school committees as well as ongoing consultation to encourage the sustainability. Safe and Humane Schools at Clemson, we provide that trainer certification course. For more information about the in-person and the virtual training, which is the majority of what we're doing right now, you can visit our website that you see listed here. There's also some required programming materials for implementing the program. There's a school-wide guide that provides that theoretic framework and background with an emphasis on the school-wide component. Then there's a teacher guide that provides similar background from a teacher's perspective and provides direction really for classroom bullying prevention efforts and focuses mainly on that classroom aspect. And then, as Jan mentioned, that the Olweus Bullying Questionnaire provides that baseline for the first year to understand bullying as it occurs from a student's point of view, and is also a tool in subsequent years for planning and to measure progress. There are other supplemental materials that are available for teachers to use, but these are the required materials. So for more information about the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program, you can contact me or you can visit our website. My email address is here. Safe and Humane Schools also, we offer trainings related to building positive connections and reducing bullying and violence in school and in the community. So in addition to topics related to bullying, available in-person or virtual presentations and training include student engagement, youth mental health first aid, and social emotional learning. So you can contact me for more information about these or other available topics. So thank you for viewing this presentation about the Olweus Bullying Prevention Program. Remember that bullying prevention is a process, and the process may take time, and it certainly takes commitment, but it's best to approach this initiative in small steps. And also the success of this program depends upon active involvement of all adults in the school community. You play an important role in making schools a safe and more caring place for all students, and we really appreciate all that you do. So this is the end of our overview of the OBPP, and I'll send it back to Erin. Who is muted?
Thank you so much for that thorough and informative overview and for helping me with my technical issues. I really appreciate both of you. This has been us with the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina, and we've shared Working Through It Wednesday. This has been our first part of this series, and tune in next week so that you can see the second part. Please don't forget to utilize the QR code from the beginning here to fill out our survey and let us know how we can better serve our community and provide additional professional learning opportunities. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.